Hello, thank you for joining me. Welcome to our third tutorial, Cleverly Creative. I used to call it Creative Communication. In our previous tutorial, we looked at verbs. We sloped away at those verbs. Today we continue our journey into parts of speech by looking at nouns. The two biggies, verbs and nouns. So nouns, of course, names of people, places, things. They're naming words, people, places, cities, countries, animals, plants, natural phenomena such as weather, manufactured commodities, everyday things, human values and emotions, ideas, groups and qualities, lots of things named by nouns, from people to trees and clouds. Recognizing nouns, they're normally preceded by words what normally comes before nouns are words like a, and, the, some, any, my, his, their, this, that, those. They're found in certain positions in the sentence. Before the verb, stars twinkle. After the verb, drop what? Drop the ball. Vote for Pippi. After a preposition, who should we vote for? Pippi. Some nouns have special endings. Adaptation, happiness, communism, doctor, actor, swimming, eating. And some nouns are made up of more than one word. Basket plus ball gives basketball. News plus paper is newspaper. Sister-in-law, drama club, these are all nouns. Let's see if we can turn these verbs into nouns. He is a big what? He's a big annoy. He's a big annoyance. You should get what before you can come to buy a car by us? A clearance certificate. You exist, but what is it that you have? You have existence. Occur, my students don't want to say occurring, but I think a better answer is occurrence. It was a freak occurrence. He has a lot of persistence. And for some reason, this one is an A. He made a brief appearance. And this one's an A. Performance. A performance. And an utterance. He made a very intelligent utterance. Or perhaps his only utterance was a grunt. So countable and uncountable. Countable nouns have singular and plural. One apple, two apples. One car, two cars. One orange, three oranges. But certain nouns don't have singular and plural. We only have advice. We only have information. We don't have informations. Only pork, gambling, algebra, stationery, soccer, rugby. Rugby it's a singular form only. And some things are plural but are considered singular. It's confusing. It looks plural, but it's the name of the subject. It's like maths is my best subject. The news, it looks plural, but the news is on TV. Measles looks plural, but it is a disease. And then we've already looked a little bit at the subject. Who did the verb? The pen did. The pen broke, so the pen is the subject. I don't worry so much about these names. The object case, what should we read? Read the book. The book there is the object of the verb read. And the possessive case, Jack's book. Well, they're both nouns. I guess that must be the possessive case. Jack's meaning belonging to Jack. Take a breath for a second. We've already said proper nouns name people and places and a whole lot of other things too. And we've said this too. Names of specific people, these are proper nouns. So these are the ones with the capital letters. We name people, places, organizations or things. Capital letter or uppercase letter, both of her names with a capital. Michael Rex, the Taj Mahal, the name of the river Styx, the United Nations, NATO, name of this aircraft, name of that car, all proper nouns, capital letters. Common nouns are the more ordinary ones. Doctor, piano, program, of course that is American spelling for program. In British spelling, that's only a computer program. With that spelling. Teacher, flower, fish. Physical properties, velocity, silence, cold, rain, ice, money, magnesium. And concrete nouns, much the same sort of thing. Visible and tangible, you can see them. Flower, teacher, pencil, guitar. But they can be concrete nouns and proper nouns. Names of things you can see. The United Nations, Mount Everest. River Styx is in mythology, so we can't exactly see it, but I guess it's still a concrete noun. Which of these could be nouns? Which of these could be the name of something? There's few here that could not be the name of something. So I'm only going to underline those I'll delete those that could not be nouns. Could that be the name of something? Yes, it's something we read. The name of something we put stuff in. The name of something that does stuff for us. That can be a verb, I love you, but it's also the name of the emotion we feel. My favorite emotion is love. That's the name of a part of speech. We did them last time. It's the name of something, so it's a noun. Happy could be a noun if it's someone's name. I know someone called Happy. But seeing as this one doesn't have a capital letter, let's delete this one. Let's say, well, this one's normally an adjective describing the person. Bye, Happy. Is this the name of something? Yes. This is normally an adjective, but we could speak of the bowling green, the place where bowls is played. So it could be a noun. Usually a verb, kill, but we could say the lion moved in for the kill. So it could be a noun. Sentence, the name of something, a group of words that has a subject and a verb. Horror, the name of an emotion. Happiness, the name of an emotion. Island, the name of something. Igloo, the cover of my book. That's normally distortion. So there might possibly be a way of using distort as a noun, but I think I'm going to delete distort. The name of what makes his money for him. What they did in the museum, the name of that process. The name of the feeling that he had towards his auntie. Of course, that's the name of something. His consumption of food was over the limit, a kind of a cave, a grid, a system of horizontal and vertical lines. Nearness, this closeness I feel with you, the name of that feeling. The requirement is the name of something that you need to have, the name of an emotion, the name of a quality, the name of a quality, the name of a seemingly impossible place. So most of those are in fact nouns. We've already dealt with nouns that can be more than one word. Mrs. Jones, a swimming pool, a compound noun. The Great Wall of China, a noun phrase. School uniforms, all still the names of things. Let's see if we can spot which noun does not fit in with the others. Yacht, canoe, cruiser, liner, jet. I'm assuming a cruiser is also something that goes on the water. Of course, liner could be an aeroplane too, but I think they want us to say jet. But the others are watercrafts. I'm not so sure about a liner. Ocean liner, but a jet. I'm going to say it's jet. Daisy, daffodil, rose, willow, pansy. All of those are flowers, except one is a tree. Which one is a tree? A willow is a tree. Leopard, swan, wolf, tiger. 3 of them are kind of scary animals that could eat you. One of them is a water animal that won't eat you. So I think they want us to say swan. Umbrella, sword, dagger, spear. 3 of them are weapons. One of them could be used as a weapon, but normally an umbrella is only used to protect against rain. Carrot, peach, pumpkin, cauliflower. 3 are vegetables. 1 is a fruit. So peach is the odd one out. Which words are the nouns? Which are the names of things? Obviously, boy is the name of something. And what did he lose? His shoes. So let's underline shoes. Similarly, girl is a noun. Cat is a noun. And what did she give the cat? Some milk is a noun. I ate is a pronoun. So here it's just what he ate, an orange. And also a plum. These are our nouns. The teacher is a noun. The class is a noun. And a boomerang is a noun. The phone is a noun. And the nightstand is a noun. Psychology is the name of a subject, so it's a noun. And foods is a noun. Is the capitalized word a noun? That's what Linda did. It's not the name of something. That's what Frank did, so it's not the name of something. That shows a relationship. It's not the name of something. But this one is. It's the name of the thing that he went on. He went on a walk. So it's the name of something, it's a noun. Often scream is a verb, but here it's the name of the thing that she uttered with a scream. That word a is your clue that this is the name of something. And here again we've got an a. Normally it's a preposition, but here it's the name of this. What you're buying, if you're buying drinks for everyone, it's a round. That's a preposition. So we had 3 nouns there. Provide the noun. A seat for a rider on horseback starts with an S. A saddle. The basic framework of the human body. Surely they want us to say this word starting with an S. Surely it's the skeleton. The story of someone's life. We did this in tutorial B. Bio meaning life. Graphy meaning writing. Someone who writes articles for a newspaper. There's probably more than one answer. The one I'm thinking of starts with jur, a journalist. Someone who studies birds, you may not know this one, starts with OR, an ornithologist. All of those are nouns. An ornithologist studies birds. Fill in the missing nouns. If Italy is a country, then Europe is a continent. Philosopher takes part in philosophy. A diplomat takes part in diplomacy. Of course, there's that joke. A diplomat is someone who can tell you to go to hell in such a nice way that you look forward to the trip. German is to Germany as what is to Norway. Someone from Norway is a Norwegian. Biologist studies biology. A geologist studies the study of rocks and stones, geology. Infant is to infancy as delinquent is to delinquency. Inanity is to inane as insanity is to insane. Turn these words into nouns. Noble becomes nobleman or nobility. He had a what? A qualification. I think we're going to get a lot of shin words. This is another shin. He interacted, he had an interaction. The child was adopted, it was a successful adoption. The killer moved in, not the killer shin, but the kill. It was very memorable because it created a good memory. Conquer, my students want to say conquered, but of course it's conqueror or conquest. The singer sang the song. This one's tricky because we lose that O and we get pronunciation. Exceed an excess. There was an excess of people at the party. Occurrence. Thumb is already a noun, so that's a trick question. And grand, I was impressed by the grandeur of that hotel's lobby. Form a noun again. Performance, they gave a great one. The doctor gives you a prescription. He had a great qualification. Receive, receipt. He gave me a receipt. He made a what at the hotel? A reservation. Reveal can be a noun. The great reveal. Perhaps they want us to say revelation. And he took out a subscription to that magazine, and it was a terrible temptation for him to start drinking again. Nouns have gender. These are the female forms. This is asking us to give the male forms. An unmarried woman is a spinster, an unmarried man, a bachelor, a sister-in-law, a brother-in-law. A heroine, a hero, a landlady, a landlord. A widow is a widower without an S. A witch, the male form, a wizard. And a mayoress is a mayor. Singular and plural. One puppy, two puppies. One piano, two pianos. One house, two houses. One man, two men. Usually we just add an S. Pen, pens, cat, cats. But some things that end in CH or S and SH and SS and X, we add ES. One pitch, two pitches, two gases, two foxes. Things that end in a Y become IES. One baby, two babies. One pastry, two pastries. And if it's a vowel and then a Y, then it's just an S again. One key, two keys, days, monkeys. Words that end in F take a V. One knife, two knives. One life, two lives. One loaf, two loaves. But they're exceptions. It's not rubes and chiefs and saves. The roof, just add an S. Chief, just add an S. Safe, just add an S. And if it ends in O, then for some reason it takes this E. Two tomatoes. Two heroes, two potatoes. And some words, there are no plurals. One sheep, two sheep. One buck, two buck. One fish, two fish. One deer, two deer. One trout, two trout. And then there's some strange and unusual plurals. One passerby, two passers-by. Surely that should still have a hyphen. One runner-up, two runners-up. One mother-in-law, two mothers-in-law. One son-in-law, two sons-in-law. And then, of course, uncountable nouns. There's no plural form. Air, bread, butter, cotton, cream, heat, jam, plastic, scenery, sugar, tea, water, mud. There's no singular and plural forms. Abstract, uncountable nouns. There's no advices. Darkness, fear, grammar, gratitude, hatred, honesty, information, pain, reality, safety, wealth. There's only one form. So here they're asking us to supply the plural. Source, sources. Church, we can't just add an S here, it's going to be ES. Speech, it's a CH, so we'll add an ES. Salary is a Y, so we'll add an IES. Carp is an F, so it's got to be a V. Echo ends in an O, so we got an ES. Piano, there's no apostrophe, by the way, it's just pianos. Zoo, zoos. Hero, we got to add an E. Mother-in-law, the S goes there. mothers-in-law. Ox, not oxes, but oxen. Tooth, not tooths, but teeth. Not foots, but feet. Mouse, such a strange one. Not mouses, but mice. Ox, we've done ox already, it's oxen. And one sheep, two sheep, same thing. Foreign plural, some strange ones. One vertebra, two vertebrae. One bacterium, two bacteria. One medium, one media. Those from Latin. From Greek, one crisis, two crises. One criterion, one criteria. I don't know from what language. One phenomenon, many phenomena. Give the plural form. I think they're trying to trick us here. One fish, two fish. One deer, two deer. Mumps doesn't have a plural form. Doesn't have a plural form. You could say hairs, although the hair on my head. Scissors, police, man, men. One woman, two women. One novel, two novels. Railway. Suppose we could say railways. Goblets. Duty ends in a Y, so it's going to be IES. And take out the Y. One artist, two artists. One girl, two girls. One loaf, two loaves. More give the plural form. We've just done loaf. Don't make us do it again. One loaf, two loaves. One waltz, two waltzes. We've done mouse. One mouse, two mice. One criterion, two criteria. One ferry, change it to IES. One knife, two knives. One runner-up, two runners-up. One goose, two geese. One roof, two roofs. Take out the F. One alumnus, many alumni. Pliers, no change. Fairy, IES. Fungus, that's got to be Latin or Greek, fungi. Monkeys, S, don't think to add an apostrophe. Medium, media. Fox, not foxen for some reason, but foxes. One hero, two heroes. One bacterium, many bacteria. More give the plural form. We're killing this now. It's the last one of these. One potato, ES. One stratum or layer, two strata. One fairy, two fairies, without the Y. We've done this to tomatoes. One analysis, two analyses. One piano, two pianos. One axis, two axes. One phenomenon, two phenomena. One tooth, two teeth. One ellipsis, two ellipses. One hypothesis, two hypotheses. One oasis, two oases, I think. One parenthesis, two parentheses. One crisis, two crises. I'm assuming this must be synopses. And of course, mothers-in-law. Phew, enough plurals now. Collective nouns. A school of fish. Collective nouns name groups or sets of objects, for example, a school of fish. A board of directors. There's the school of fish, a squadron of aircraft, an armada of ships, a platoon of soldiers, a cast of actors, could also be a company of actors. Provide the collective nouns. There's a company of actors. That's too long to, well, not too long, but I'll take the easier version. Excuse that bell. A cast of actors. This is a funny one. A bevy of beauties. A what of locusts? A swarm. what of birds? A flock of birds, is it? A nest of birds? I think it's a flock. A what of poems? A whole lot of poems together. An anthology. A what of dolphins? I think it's the same as fish. A school of dolphins. A what of lions? A pride. A what of singers? A choir. Flock of sheep. A what of bees? A hive. Could also be an apiary. It's a funny one here. A what of islands? An archipelago. A what of stairs? A flight of stairs. Funny one for geese. A gaggle of geese. Pearls. A string of pearls. This is one of my favorite ones. It's such an unusual one. A what of crows? A murder of crows. A what of stars? A constellation. A what of sailors? A crew. A what of animals? I suppose it could be a zoo, but I'm going to put a menagerie. A what of books? Surely it must be library, they want us to say. A what of soldiers? Could be a company. I'm going to say a platoon. A what of strawberries? A punnet of strawberries. And a what of monks? Monks stay in a monastery. Some unusual and difficult, if you're not a home language speaker, to know all those words. A what of bananas? A bunch. There's that birds again. Do they want us to say nest, or is it a flock of birds? I hope that's what I said on the previous one. Yes, I did say a flock of birds. A what of directors? Do they want us to say a company? A board. They want us to say a board of directors. A what of flowers? A bunch of flowers. A bouquet. Let's put a bouquet. And let's keep bunch for a bunch of grapes. They want us to say school. I don't know why I'm thinking it's a pod of whales. Am I wrong? A flight of steps. We did that one. Flight of stairs, we said before. This was on the previous slide. A what of cards? A deck of cards. And trees? A grove of trees. I hope I'm right with that whales. Let me know if I'm not. More collective nouns. We've done an anthology of poems with an N there. An aviary of birds, an apiary of bees, a chest of drawers. We've done a choir of singers, a cloud of smoke, a company of actors or a cast, flight of stairs, gaggle of geese, herd of cattle, host of angels, litter of kittens. We've done menagerie, a nunnery or convent of nuns, a mint of money. I don't think I would have gotten that right. A pocket of oranges, a pride of lions or peacocks. I said a platoon of soldiers. Here they're saying a regiment. This is a lovely one. A shush of librarians, because librarians are known to try and keep you quiet when you're in the library. A shush of librarians, a swarm of flies. Difficult, lesser known ones. Fleet of ships, bouquet of flowers, murder of crows. Here's an unusual one. A parliament of owls, a bed of oysters. I wouldn't have known this. A tower of giraffes. difficult one, a committee of vultures, a clutter of cats, a mob of kangaroos, a culture of bacteria. Some difficult ones there. We already came across countable versus non-countable nouns. One thief, two thieves. But these ones, of course, are not countable. Rugby, business, crime, information. We've dealt with that already. More about fewer and less. Things you can count, you use fewer. And number. Things you can't count, less and some. Fewer dollars but less money. You can count dollars. A number of coins because you can count them, but a sum of money. A number of vehicles but less traffic. Fewer computers because you can count them, but less technology. Many dictionaries but less information. Fewer shoplifters but less crime. A and an. Use a before words that start with consonants, dog and bicycle. Before words that start with vowels, an elephant, an octopus. However, H's, we don't say a hour, we say an hour, an honor. And certain U's, a unicorn, not an unicorn. An unicorn would sound funny. A unicorn, a university. We move now on to abstract nouns like horror, beauty, nobility, and strength, names of emotions. We can't see them, we can't touch them or taste them. These are qualities: enthusiasm, love, wit, jealousy, greed, contempt, courage. Philosophies such as tyranny, relativity, liberty, justice, capitalism. They're still names, they're abstract nouns. Honest becomes honesty. Just becomes justice. The adjective selfish becomes selfishness. And greedy becomes greed, just greed. More about abstract nouns. A generous parent is showing the quality of generosity. A courageous explorer is showing the quality of courage. A friendly host, I think they were trying to say, is showing the quality of friendship. I'm going to put friendliness, but I think no, let me say friendship. A starved survivor is experiencing starvation without an S. A successful businessman is showing us success. A patriotic citizen is showing us patriotism without an S. An enchanted forest is an example of enchantment. Phew. To end this tutorial, we carry on with our writing skills. Last time we looked at organizing our brainstorm, and I think the most important thing was think of doing a setting in the first paragraph. This one's about creativity. So it's about how do we go out of the box. So this puzzle here goes, can you join these 9 dots using 4 straight lines without lifting your pen? You might like to switch off, pause while you try that. Join the 9 dots with 4 straight lines without lifting up your pen. Feel free to pause. Most people start, I myself, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that one's not covered. 1, 2, 3, 4, then that one's not covered. To do this properly, you've got to go out of the box and go 1 up to there, then come down 3 lines, 4 lines. I'll do it again. Up, out of this imaginary box, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line. And what's the point of this exercise? Think outside the box. And this one goes, how many squares are there in the box? If you say 16, you're giving the obvious answer. There's 30. There's 16 small ones, one big one. The ones that are 2 squares by 2 squares, these 4 in the corners, one in the middle, another 2 squares by 2 squares, 2 squares by 2 squares, 2 by 2, 2 by 2, one in the middle, and then there's 3 by 3s. There's actually 30 squares here, so we're trying to say don't automatically go for the obvious answer. So the obvious answer, the one right answer, one mindset, thinking you're going to fail, thinking people are going to criticize, those are barriers to creativity. Here's some principles of writing. Write about what you know and care about. Approach your audience through their interests, not your own. I'm not sure about that one. I think sometimes you've got to do your own interests. Make it clear from the beginning what you're talking about. Create a strong and memorable ending. Begin with what is clear and understandable and move from there to more difficult things. This is a big one. Use concrete examples rather than abstractions. We said last time, don't tell us it's beautiful. Show us the orange and pink light in the sky. Respect your readers. I think this word must be coming up here. Word starting with C. An idea or feeling which a word invokes for a person in addition to its literal or primary meaning. Excuse the bell. We've spoken about the denotation of a word as its literal meaning. The connotation of a word is its kind of emotional meaning, what it suggests. Not just the literal meaning, but something else. Causing disagreement or heated discussion. Which one is it? It was a controversial decision. It caused a lot of heated discussion. The process of burning something. Which one is it? Combustion is burning something. A phrase or opinion that's overused and betrays a lack of original thought. As green as grass, last but not least, those are cliches. And then a caricature is a picture or imitation of a person in which certain striking characteristics are exaggerated. A picture of someone exaggerating their big nose, for example, is a caricature. A unit of grammatical organization next below the sentence surely must be a clause, not a phrase, but a clause. Compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. I think they want us to say charisma. Someone who's got that spark that draws you to them is charismatic. To accept behavior that's considered morally wrong, but I'm letting you off this time. I'm condoning what you did. I'm letting you off. A small piece of bread with a savory topping served with drinks at a party. A canapé. Little piece of toast. A little piece of toast with some cheesy things on it is a canapé. And then that leaves us only with, we've had feline for cats, bovine for cows, and of course canine in the manner of dogs. Some more C words. Showing smug or uncritical satisfaction. If you start becoming complacent, thinking everything's just fine, that's when you've got to worry. A general agreement is a consensus. There was a consensus that we would all go to the party. Disposed to agree with others or obey rules, especially to an excessive degree. He was compliant to the rules. He complied to the rules. The customers of a shop or a bar or a place of entertainment, the clientele, I guess you could say clientele. Couple more pages of C words. Having or showing too great a readiness to believe things. You're credulous. You believe things too easily. Showing contempt or scornful obviously is going to be contemptuous. Noisy people outside. Contemptuous is showing contempt. We've got that twice. Oh, contemptible. I think it's this one. Deserving contempt. Despicable. To look thoughtfully for a long time at. To think about is to contemplate something. To think about it. Last page of C words. Truthful and straightforward. Candid, meaning honest. A basic speech sound like b, k, d, not a vowel, but a consonant. An agreement or harmony, concord. It's a grammatical concept too. We'll still get to that. Focus. Write about one thing. Strong writing has a very clear focus with secondary and related ideas positioned. What's the one main idea? Have one idea. Don't digress too much. Keep it all in one time or one or two settings. If you find yourself doing too much 1 hour later, 2 hours later, I think maybe you're losing focus. You stick to one place and one time, you've got room for the little details. Write a paragraph on one of the following topics: a hot bath, picking strawberries, the feeling of beach sand, a glass of cold water, meringues, a fluffy towel, the tastes of my town, burnt toast, new bread, chocolate, fish and chips, a strawberry milkshake, or you could choose that topic or that picture as a topic. I'll show you these again. Bath, strawberries, sand, water, meringues, towel, the taste of my town, toast, bread, chocolate, fish and chips, strawberry milkshake. Quick little vocabulary quiz and we'll be done for today. A person who looks on the bright side. What is he? Optimist or pessimist? An optimist. Loyalty. Surely they don't want us to say fealty. I'm not sure what they want us to say for this one. Loyalty. I'm leaving it blank because I'm not sure what they want. I'll look it up and perhaps I can mention it the next time. The amount by which a sum of money is too small. A deficit. An outline picture in black and white. A silhouette. To walk in a tired way is to trudge. Describes one who is friendly, amiable. An addiction to stealing. If you didn't know, kleptomania. Describes one who is gloomy and sullen. Don't be so morose. And comfort in times of trouble. Comfort in times of trouble. I can't think what word I wanted for that one, so I'll think about these before the next tutorial. Comfort in, solace. This one is solace. And what's that one? Loyalty, starting with an F. I want to say fealty. But I'm not going to waste your time now and look it up now. I can. Okay, I looked it up. Fealty does fit in there, but it's a very old-fashioned word. So, but it's the best I can do for now. I wonder if that's what they wanted us to say. So that's pretty much our tutorial. So please come back next time for Dreamy Delights. Lots of sweet and sticky treats in Dreamy Delights. But this was Creative Communication. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, go safely.